y'all, I'm Ashley, your Southern Lesbian. Are y'all gonna take me seriously in this thing? It is almost Halloweeny, and I was feeling festive, but this is as festive as I go. A onesie. When I lived in Los Angeles, y'all, Halloween was so cool because you're right next to Hollywood and you have all those people in the film industry, right? All those creatives, the makeup artists, the costumers, all of it. And I'm telling y'all, Halloween on Santa Monica Boulevard is an experience. If you ever get to do it once in your life, just it is something to behold. Alas, now here I am, and this is as far as I go. Welcome. Okay, we got a lot to cover this week, and honestly, as I was adding to this episode to my notes and thinking about things I wanted to talk about, I was like, y'all, this could probably end up being 2 or 12 episodes. I'll do my best to stay grounded and rein it in, but bear with me. So y'all know the advice. Just let them be who they are. Just let them do what they want to do. Pour all that energy you were focusing on them back into your own cup. Well, I think that's great advice. I do. Okay, sure, but if you are the only one who's constantly pouring into your cup, then you kind of start to say, well, why am I even in a relationship, right? And then from the other partner, you might hear, well, this is who I am. These are my friends. I'm going to go out when I want. Nobody's going to change me. Now look, I've been on both sides of this coin. I have been both of these partners. So I understand both sides, and I'm sure y'all might be able to relate too. Both sides have very valid points, but this is where we have to learn how self-sabotage starts to sneak in. You're trying each other on for size, so to speak, but you know what I mean? You're trying to see if you're a fit as partners. And this is the point where the self-sabotage can sneak in if you're not careful, and where rejection sensitivity can pop up for both sides. So it's very important, I think, to be aware of this. Because the point of being in a relationship is to share life together, right? To build something, not just spend the end of the day together with each other's leftover energy. So today we're going to talk about the subtle ways we can self-sabotage our good relationships. Not with drama, but even just with avoidance or by overgiving, because both are just fear in disguise. Y'all, I'm not gonna lie, this onesie is already getting hot, and I don't know what to do about it because I don't have anything else on. Hot flash. 'Tis the menopause. All right, here we go. Let's talk about the nice girl for a second. The cool girl. She's taught to just be cool. Don't nag. Don't ask for too much. Be nice. Relationships are compromised. So what happens is she's the one that always ends up compromising. She's the one that gives too much, usually starting with sex, then commitment, then maybe a key to the house. Introducing her friends and family really quickly. And then all of a sudden waking up one day and going, wait a minute, is this all moving too fast? Is this unhealthy? Pretty soon she's operating like a 24-hour diner. It's food and sleep and sex, but she's really starving for reciprocity. And she's not showing up as her full self. Why? Because she's afraid of not being chosen. That's self-sabotage in disguise, y'all. Silencing your needs is absolute self-sabotage. You're silencing your needs because you don't want to lose someone, but what you're actually losing is yourself. I get it. And when you're ready to welcome love in, there is no set number of days before you can introduce them to your friends and family or give them a key or whatever you want to do. But you do need to at least see your partner, potential partner, in a couple of seasons. You're already seeing her when she's happy because everybody's on their best behavior in the beginning of a relationship. But you need to see her when she's stressed too. Like, how does she behave? What are her patterns? Does she blame other people? Does she get angry? Does she raise her voice? Does she problem solve with creative solutions? Does she stay level? Is she kind? Great. So everybody's case is going to be different. Then there's the other side of this girl, the one who feels like her freedom is being impinged upon. The I want to be free girl trap. And this is the girl whose life is so full that she doesn't really leave any space for intimacy. I have been this partner. I know what this is. All I can say is it feels safe to be busy because when you're moving all the time, you're not thinking about intimacy. You're not thinking about being vulnerable. You're not slowing down long enough for your partner to really go too deep with you. I wasn't even doing it on purpose, y'all. I had a lot of energy and I really enjoyed being busy for one thing, and that's great. But did I sabotage a few relationships because of being on the move constantly and not dedicating any time with my partner? For sure. And like I said, I wasn't even realizing what I was doing, but under the surface now, I know that I was protecting my independence because in my childhood, my independence was taken away from me in certain ways. And growing up in the gay community and silencing your voice, I mean, y'all, for me, I grew up in the South, very religious community, went to church all the time with the family. I have a stepfather who back then, and he knows, we've had all the conversations, the family all knows, back when I was growing up, he had quite the temper, and a lot of guns in the house. So you better believe I learned how to stay silent. But as an adult, what that actually means is, we have to get to a point in our adult lives where we go, wait a minute, Ashley, I'm not in that situation anymore where I was 9 years old and this is what was happening. And at this point, you have to show up and you have to be accountable for somebody else and to somebody else. And look, each person in the relationship should absolutely feel free. And I'm going to die on that hill because I want to feel free. Absolutely. What does that look like? That means freedom to go out with your friends, freedom to make your own choices, freedom to cheat if that's what they're going to do. Because you need to know these things, and there's nothing you can do to stop it if it's going to happen. Again, I know, because back in the day, I've been on both sides of these coins. Your peace cannot depend on what she's doing, because whether she stays or she goes, there comes a point where you have to know that you have you. So that's the most important thing that you can continue to work on. And because of this, you will know when that person steps into your life that actually chooses you rather than you pulling at them, making them stay. When someone actively chooses you, what a beautiful thing. But if after several months of being together, one partner is still being treated like an afterthought, then it's time for both of y'all to ask, well, why? So it just raises the question of at what point does personal space and privacy become avoidance? Because y'all aren't building anything together. So let's talk about staying calm through all this and what calm actually means and what calm should feel like. Because healthy love shouldn't be this anxiety running through your body. You know that term of the butterflies and all that? Listen, I want you to feel excited about seeing your partner every time she walks through the door. That is such a fun, beautiful feeling and I love it. But it shouldn't feel like anxiety. And at some point, I think sometimes some of us have gotten the two confused because, again, we're the gay community. We've grown up in a ton of trauma, a lot of us, even if it's just by staying silent because we couldn't be fully who we are, right? So you may grow up with all these anxieties in your body that you don't recognize is anxiety. You think it's excitement and it's not. There should be clarity in the way you guys communicate. You should not have to wonder whether or not she's going to text you at the end of the night, call you, whatever it's going to be. You shouldn't have to wonder what she's doing when she goes out with her friends and worry. You should never, no partner should ever have to ask to look at the other's phone. And on the flip side, I'm going to tell you, if that person feels safe, they're not going to ask to look at your phone. And you should be able to communicate what you're feeling and your insecurities and these things that are coming up with calm and clarity. Not chaos, not blame, not pointing fingers, calm. Because if somebody really wants to build something with you, guess what's going to happen when you bring those things up? Okay, babe, you know what? I want to make you feel safe, so I'm absolutely going to text you at the end of the night, or I'm going to call you and check in with you, and you're going to see that everything's okay. That's a beautiful thing. And if that partner doesn't want to give you that, and if she pushes back and says, well, you shouldn't be wondering about where I am and what I'm doing and blah, 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 I don't have to say it, do I? And I'm not saying you should nag her all the time either. I'm saying that if you guys can't come to a healthy communication and a healthy balance about trust with each other, you have to start asking why. And it might not be her fault. It might be your fault. It might be inner triggers and traumas that you need to look at and you need to work on, but you need to work on them. Because our goal here is alignment. It's peace within the relationship. It's building something together where we are so comfortable with each other and feel like we have each other's backs, that we can build something really beautiful together. It's like, otherwise, what are we even doing here? Partnership isn't about control. So you should be able to say, hey, I want to go out with my friends and I want some alone time scheduled into our each month. What does that look like? Let's talk about that. Or on the flip side, the other partner saying, hey, I know you've got your own life and I want you to have that. And I want you to have fun with your friends, but I want to build something with you too. I want this to be the priority. Can we do that? What does that look like? Because here's the big realization that hit me, y'all. And y'all are smarter than me for sure. So you probably already know this stuff, but it kind of hit me recently that both the person who wants their distance and their freedoms, the distancer we'll call him, and the pleaser we'll call her, both of these people are just acting out of fear. One is afraid of losing her independence and her freedom and being smothered, and the other one is afraid of losing that sense of belonging that she wants. So both of them are just responding to fear. One's protecting their time, one's protecting that need to belong. But either way, the intimacy in the relationship never gets a fair shot if this is how y'all are operating, because you're losing yourself when you avoid, when you pull away, when you distance, because you're not voicing what really needs to happen here. You're not showing up as your full, beautiful self. And same thing on the flip side. If you're playing small over here to seemingly keep the peace, you're not showing up as your full self. You're not expressing your full needs. So both of y'all just have these masks on and you're off here playing in your own little corners, and you need to learn how to take the masks off and come together and see if it works. All right, let's talk about it a little bit further to that point. You can absolutely honor somebody's independence and still need them to show up. It's going to require some effort, so what that looks like depends on both of you. Just communicate it clearly. Hey babe, I'm tired of making dinner every night. I know that you do XYZ over here for me too, but can we talk about how maybe we can split these roles up a little bit differently? And if she says she wants you in her life, that should show up on her calendar. And likewise, like I said, each partner should be able to move through their life without feeling like the other is dissecting their every move, questioning what they're doing. Nobody wants to feel like that. That's smothering. But we teach people how to treat us, not by just what we say to them, but also by what we allow to continue. So what does being wiser now look like? Well, once I realized that both sides are actually operating from fear, all of a sudden I was able to stop blaming my other partners and myself, because, you're both operating out of fear. The fear shows up in one partner as control, and it shows up in another partner as self-erasure. And both of these strategies once worked in their lives, I have no doubt, because they worked in mine as a child, to protect, right? We have these protective strategies. Some people call them defense mechanisms. They can also be called protection mechanisms. So it's our job as adults in healthy, mature relationships to learn how to undo these protective behaviors that we pulled on that weren't bad when we were kids because we probably needed them, right? But now as adults, they certainly don't serve us, and you can see why. It's our job to start to remove these blocks that allow our full self to come forward and be seen so we can be loved for who we actually are. So that's where the wisdom comes in. And it's not being perfect in your relationship. It's not trying to fix anything per se. It's recognizing, this is what's happening, and having compassion for each other. So if you're the one that overgives, speak your needs earlier. Start practicing that. Just try it. You need to know. You need to know. And if you're the one that pulls away and avoids, practice staying. Practice being more present. Practice giving her more time and seeing how that feels in your body. It's probably going to be real uncomfortable for both of y'all at first. Real uncomfortable. Because when fear is running the show, each partner is sacrificing one half of the equation. The distancer keeps her autonomy, but loses vulnerability. And the pleaser offers vulnerability, but loses her autonomy. Healthy love is two people staying curious about each other without losing themselves in the process. Okay, y'all. Here's where the universe comes in. You know we were going to get here. You know the woo-woo is going to come out at some point. Just be ready, because when you start doing this work on yourself, as you start removing these blocks that keep you from being authentically who you really are, our little friend the universe starts sending along little tests because it wants you to prove it. It wants you to set yourself on a new timeline. So you're going to have to double down and really mean it. You can't just think, oh, yeah, I'll try that. No, it's going to give you opportunities to show up and be your new self so that you can graduate and move to the next level of your life. So you're going to meet some people who say, oh my God, you're so amazing. And you have this chemistry. You know, it's not hard to say no to people who are very clearly not for you. Maybe they're hot, but you have nothing in common, right? You can say no to those people very easily. It's the ones that you have the chemistry with that also probably tick off about 60% of your boxes. And you're going, no, wait a minute. Can I bend myself? Can I let go of some of this? And sacrifice my own needs in order to be in this relationship. You will be tempted to chase because you see the potential. But I'm going to tell you something. We know potential does not cuddle you on a Sunday morning. We're wiser now, damn it. I'm not falling for that anymore. And I don't want you to either. So pour into yourself, yes, but also absolutely, you better expect to be poured into as well. I want that for you. So being calm, keeping the peace in your relationship does not mean accepting crumbs. Know your worth. And hold yourself to that standard and hold her to it too. So in closing, y'all, self-sabotage is not always, getting into this big angry blow up and blowing the whole relationship to hell, right? It is usually the small, quiet, underlying things that we do that we don't even realize are happening. It's those little tiny acts of self-betrayal. We think that we're being loving, but sometimes what we're really doing is just trying to earn love by not having needs. And girl, I'm going to tell you right now, you ain't got to earn anybody's love. You are worthy of love just because you exist. Repeat that to yourself. I am worthy of love just because I exist. It's true. I'm not saying you got to be lazy and get away with just, couch surfing all day while your girlfriend brings you grapes. But I am saying maybe self-sabotage at this point with your partner, wherever you are in your relationship. But I would guess it's usually when you're trying to figure out if partnership's going to work or not. It might not be the end. It doesn't have to be the end. It could be that middle dance where you just start to be curious and be brave enough to have the conversations you need to have to see if this thing can work. So that's what wiser now, damn it, really means. It doesn't mean that you figured everything out. It just means that you're paying attention. Anyway, I thank y'all so much for being here this week. I'm so grateful for each and every one of y'all. Thank you so much for all the feedback that you give. I love hearing your perspective. I love hearing if you're getting anything out of this. So please comment below and tell me, if something is resonating. And or, of course, if you have comments or feedback, I'm open to that too. Maybe. I'm just kidding, y'all. Oh, and if you haven't checked out the TikTok community, as I've said before, that's where all the crazy shenanigans happens. I do post most of the silly stuff on there. And it's a fun little community. And there are lesbians chatting with one another in the comments. So help yourself, ladies. That's all I can say. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe and follow along. Recommend this to your friends if you think they could get something out of it. They might not know what to do with a lesbian in a skeleton onesie if they're watching this in April. But here we are. Happy Halloween, y'all. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful week. Have a wonderful Halloween, or what do they call it? Samhain, like the original Sam Hain or Pagan holiday. Samhain. Anyway, y'all have a wonderful week and be good to yourselves. And I'll see you next week, okay? Bye, y'all. Just a reminder, y'all, I'm not a doctor. Everything I share here is for entertainment and encouragement, not medical advice. The views you hear are mine or my guests, not my sponsors. Any similarity to real people is purely coincidence.